Well, good evening, good evening, good evening to all you wisdom walkers out there. Want to be wisdom walkers, will be wisdom walkers, especially by the end of the year. This is Jojo Maria and Saroma coming to you with part two of Astrology for Self Mastery for the month of November in 2025. Yeah. We have a total of like 38 aspects this month, and that does include the full moon, the new moon, and I'll be focusing on the new moon tonight. But just in these 4 days that I am going to report on for you, there is there are 10 aspects, yeah, including the new moon in Scorpio. And then I'll come back next week, but not on Sunday, but on a weekday, and give you the closing out of the month. And that's something like, I don't know, 14 aspects. Yeah, it's a lot. So if you've been feeling that, if you've been feeling like a lot is going on, a lot is shifting, a lot is rolling, yeah, it's happening cosmically. We're going through a great time of human evolution, growth, and healing. Yeah, which is sorely needed at this time. So, let me give you my quotes for the month of November again. This is discovery on many levels, says Lena Stevens of the Power Path. Discovery of parts of yourself you never knew or had forgotten about. Newfound stamina for change, flexibility you did not think you had, uncomfortable truths about yourself or others, and many things that have been hidden under the surface, both personally and in your greater environment and communities. This is all part of the completion cycle of this year, as well as an opening into a new landscape that requires a final clearing of past attachments. Yes. And then from New Moon Omens, their November astrology report, November 2025 will be marked by numerous pivotal astrological events that invite us to explore new directions, release control, and realign with what truly matters. Several planets changing signs and direction of motion will offer us an opportunity to reevaluate the structures we have been building and open ourselves to new perspectives and possibilities. Yeah, yeah, really cool. So again, a lot of motion happening now, lots of going on. And we're still in Scorpio season. Absolutely. A time for passion and a desire for transformation. So happy birthday again to all you Scorpions out there, part of the water sign Trine. That is also going on. I'll talk again about that in a minute. The impact days for November, and as you can see, there are many. And the 4 days of this week, really, it's a whole week of impact days that there are aspects that, really impact us, whether it is a retrograde or there are days when there are more than one aspect going on, and that really will tug on our nervous system. So this week, everything I'm talking about is an impact day. Absolutely. So we start with next Sunday, November the 16th. And here we have that Grand Water Trine showing up again in November. There will be three altogether. And this is just a reminder, Grand Trine is a triangle in the heavens formed by the appearance of one planet in each of the three zodiac signs of like element, composed by Mars in Scorpio, Jupiter in Cancer, and Saturn in Pisces. This week's Grand Trine will be in water and the element of love. And that was the one that opened it up for us last month in October. But as things have shifted, we're getting a series of Grand Trines, which is unusual. This is unusual, folks. And so the new one that we have right now, because as you see here, we'll get one more on November 26th. And as it says, will, this it'll take a number of years before this happens like this again. So we really want to take advantage of it. Water erases the lines that separate you from people you once cherished, dissolves emotional distances between friends, and replenishes the near empty reservoirs of goodwill in your lives. So it's about love born of death and compassion. Yes. So really, really good energy. And so this one that we're having that shows up on next Sunday into Monday is involving the Sun in Scorpio, Saturn in Pisces, and Jupiter in Cancer. And I'll say these are kind of the lead celestial entities because we also have Neptune in Pisces, and we have, I think Mars is still in Scorpio right now, if I'm not mistaken. Mercury's definitely in Scorpio. Venus, I believe, is in Scorpio. So there's Scorpio stellium happening. But for this one that shows up next week, these are the major players: the Sun, Saturn, and Jupiter. And here's some information from Astro Butterfly. Now, she lives down in Australia, so that's why, or New Zealand, I think. So that's why you'll see her report things a day ahead of the Northern Hemisphere. But as it says, on November, I'll say 16th to 17th, we have a Grand Water Trine at the 25th degree of the water signs. So there are altogether 30 degrees. Once you hit 30, you're moving into another journey with another sign as a planet. So this is late degrees. So it's kind of potent. They're pretty potent when they get in the late degrees. And all of them, the Sun, the Sun, Jupiter, and Saturn are all in 25 degrees of the particular water sign that they are swimming in right now. And she goes on to say, we've already touched on Jupiter trine Saturn, but when the Sun joins in on November 16th to 17th, the energy becomes personal. Suddenly, our deeper motivations and the direction of our path become not only clearer, but also more purposeful. We feel that our own journey is a meaningful piece in the greater puzzle. Yeah, yeah. So very, very powerful energy that is showing up for us with this grand water trine coming in next week. Yeah. Now, also on this day, of course, we get the trine itself between two planets showing up, and this is between the Sun and Jupiter. Sun in Scorpio, Jupiter now retrograde in Cancer. And this is a fortunate aspect. It offers us a chance to grow financially, spiritually, and emotionally. Be generous today, and your kindness will come back to you tenfold. Wow. I just love that. Isn't that just delicious? And here's the thing to remember about a trine. A trine is a flow energy. It's like the two planets or heavenly bodies involved, the three, or if it's just two, that means that they're in agreement. They're like, yeah, this works. And so you're going to get like this united front, if you will, of energy that's designed for harmony, you know, easy and effortless flow, of things moving and no obstruction. That's the other piece of with the flow, the trine, and not bringing any obstruction. Like the way is clear, and that's why they're associated too with clarity, harmony. Yeah. So really, really powerful for the sun, which all the planets evolve around and revolve and evolve around, and Jupiter, which is like the master of all the planets, for the two of them coming together in a trine and in water signs. Yeah, it's really, really good. Really, really good aspect here. And as it says, this is growth financially, spiritually and emotionally. And to me, that is total new earth energy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, let's move on to Monday, November the 17th. And here we have another water trine. This time it's the sun trining Saturn, which currently is still retrograding in Pisces. And as it says, even with an active retrograde, you can still achieve your desires today. Just remember to ask for what you want. It's a great day for manifesting your wishes and bringing them to life. Yes. Much, much needed. Yeah. And it's almost like the universe too, with all the things that are happening that are obstructive or, hurdles to get over, have put us into a position to really use our intention, use our imagination, use our manifestation skills to draw to us what it is we truly need. Yeah. So this energy showing up on Tuesday is a great support with that. And again, the energy of that grand water trine, that's what this is part of. That's why it's happening. It has this lasting energy to it. Yeah. We are very, very blessed. Yeah. Now, also on this day, we get another flow energy. This is a sextile between Mercury, which is retrograde right now in Sagittarius, and it's sextiling with Pluto in Aquarius. Today's intellectual aspect inspires us to hit the books and seek answers through research. It's also a good time to explore a spiritual journey or seek a guru or mentor. Very interesting. Yeah. It's like we want to, again, this kind of moving forward in our knowledge, in our wisdom, and of course in our communication. And Pluto being there in Aquarius is about, you know, not just me, but me doing it for the greater good, for the community. Yeah, I like that. Then on Tuesday, November the 18th, and I apologize, I said Tuesday for that other aspect, it was Monday. So now we move to Tuesday, the 18th. And here we have Mercury retrograding in Scorpio. So right now it's in Sagittarius. But a few days after stationing retrograde, Mercury returns to Scorpio to offer us an opportunity to wrap up unfinished business, take care of unfinished projects, or revisit events and conversations that took place during the second half of October 2025. Very interesting, right? Mhm. And I'm going to blow this up so I can read it more easily for you. If I can find that little button to help me do that. Is that it? Yeah. Mercury's backward journey through Scorpio invites us to dive deep into unresolved emotional matters and gain a new understanding of past situations that still hold power over us. This transit offers a chance to confront our fears and re examine the motives behind actions and decisions made earlier. It encourages us to renew our commitment to evolution and invites us to cultivate a more intentional relationship with change, death, and loss. Again, that's a more intentional relationship with change, death, and loss. Pretty powerful. And this period of the Mercury retrograde will go until the end, which is November the 28th. Yeah, then it'll go forward into, it'll stay in Scorpio, in fact, for a little minute. On the 29th is when it'll go direct again. But in the meantime, like it says, this is a chance for us to really do some inner work and to do some good cleanup and letting go. And again, really moving into, you know, an intentional relationship with change, death, and loss. And you know what that is saying, folks? That is saying, like, let's stop being afraid. Let's stop resisting. Let's honor how the universe works, this cycle of death, loss, because then we get rebirth, then we get replenished. It's like going from the winter into the spring. You can't have the spring without the winter. So again, and we're in a time period where there is a lot of grief. Yeah, I know many of my family members left out in the fall into the winter of the year. Absolutely. So now on Wednesday the 19th, as we can see, it's just like one aspect after another. Every day has something. Every day is impactful. So on Wednesday, we get a tight energy, this opposition between Mercury retrograde in Scorpio and Uranus, which is retrograde in Taurus. So, after entering Scorpio, Mercury immediately opposes retrograde Uranus at 29 degrees of Taurus. This opposition can facilitate access to objective insights, original ideas, and new information about past and present matters. It's not the best day for making decisions, as the secretive aspect makes it tough to get the truth from anyone. You'll need to rely on your wits to gather the information you need today. And your wits is about your intuition, opening up to that. Absolutely. Now, also on this day, we get another trine. Yeah, this time Neptune shows up. So it's Mercury retrograde again in Scorpio, trining Neptune retrograde in Pisces. Now, this is a spiritual aspect that enhances our connection to the divine, giving our intuition a significant boost. It's a wonderful day for tarot readings, astrology, or using a pendulum for guidance. Yeah. And part of my interpretation for this kind of energy, this flow energy, is us opening up to the higher timeline. Not just accepting that our 3D reality can give us all the answers that we need or what the, resolutions we're looking for. To me, this is about opening up our spiritual intelligence and connecting with a higher, greater order and direction. Yeah, absolutely. So you don't have to go to tarot cards. You can just sit, get still, and open up to, okay, God, I need to know. I'm ready to receive. Absolutely. And also on this day, we get the new moon in Scorpio, radical shifts in our inner and outer realities. So that other aspect is really interesting, Mercury and Neptune. Because when we open up to go to the higher timeline, oh yeah, our inner and outer realities definitely can make a shift. And then in the photo, you see the aspects that are going to be going on at the time of this new moon, which is Mercury, again, opposing Taurus, um, Venus in square with Saturn, which is in Pisces, and then Venus also in opposition with Cancer with Jupiter in Cancer. So very interesting, very interesting. So let me give you some more information about this new moon. As we approach the new year, this new moon offers a chance for rebirth, allowing us to release the old and embrace our highest calling. Take a moment to look inward and honor your past self. This is a highly auspicious new moon, meaning it's good. Part of a grand trine, of course, the water trine, and without a doubt, one of the best new moons we've had in a while. The new moon in Scorpio begins a lunar cycle centered around discovering the deepest needs, desires, and motivations that move us and getting to know ourselves on a whole new level. This event encourages us to renew our commitment to evolution and invites us to cultivate a more intentional relationship with change, death, and loss, as I said before. This configuration emphasizes the need for a radical transformation of how we think, relate, communicate, and perceive reality, and increases the chances of experiencing breakthroughs, sudden changes, and radical shifts in our inner and outer realities. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So cool. So cool. So cool. So powerful. Yeah. There's a lot in that. There's a lot in that. As should be, because it is a Scorpion um framed energy. Yeah. Now, about those aspects, the new moon in Scorpio will be accompanied by several significant aspects, including a Mercury Uranus opposition, the Venus Saturn square, and Venus Jupiter opposition. These aspects create a powerful atmosphere for transformation and change, encouraging setting intentions for emotional renewal while challenging old patterns and power dynamics. And in my elemental wisdom report to you, the theme that I chose was soul restoration, because of these kind of energies that are going to be working with us. So here's a little bit more about each of the aspects. Mercury opposition Uranus. This aspect in Scorpio and Taurus creates an intense mental energy, potentially leading, to breakthroughs, but also communication clashes. Hmm. Venus square Saturn. This aspect introduces challenges and friction in relationships and finance, prompting a need for a serious reassessment of our values and commitments. And then Venus opposition Jupiter. This aspect brings a tension between our desires and our limitations, potentially leading to overindulgence or a need to find a better balance. Yeah. So it's really interesting because, with this, new moon that's saying, okay, before the new year comes, here's your chance, like let's do some emptying out, let's do some going in and digging out. And then these aspects bring that support. There's tight energies. You got a square and two oppositions, right? So it's a tight energy, but clearly its work is to prompt us into getting to the higher timeline and doing the right thing. Yeah. Yes. This is pretty, yeah, it's pretty powerful. No doubt. And last but not least, I wanted to share with you how to navigate this new moon. First, be mindful of emotional intensity. Allow for the feelings that arise without getting overwhelmed. What does that mean? Don't try to stop them. Don't sedate them. Don't ignore them. We're in Scorpio season. This is an emotional period. So um, plan for that even, make sure you're giving yourself rest and nurturing, comfort, allow yourself to have your feelings. And the only way you can release them is by feeling them and get the support you need, whether that is through family, friends, or professionally. But do not run from this opportunity to empty out. Absolutely. Challenge old patterns. Use the intense energy to break free from limiting beliefs or unhealthy patterns. Yeah, because Scorpio energy is pushing things up to the surface so that you can get at them. Yeah, because if you're not conscious, then you can't work on it. So limiting beliefs, unhealthy patterns definitely are being pushed up to the top. Next, be aware of communication issues. Be conscious of how you communicate with others and try to avoid power struggles. And this is where the practice of forgiveness comes in, asking for forgiveness when you feel a resentment and anger, a judgment, a shame, a blame, a guilt energy rising up. Because the last thing you want to be doing is transferring your pain onto others through an unconscious communication. So be aware, be conscious, really important because, in with all of this planetary and cosmic movement going on, things are happening so much faster. Like AI atlases, I go 3-eye atlas is really bringing this really intense, potent energy. And so whatever you put out is going to come back to you very fast. So we want to be putting out love, not fear. And then last but not least, for navigating this new moon, set intentions. Use this powerful time to set intentions for the future, focusing on renewal and growth. Isn't that delicious? Renewal and growth. I love it. Absolutely. So, happy new moon. Hopefully, this information will help you take the best out of it and not be afraid of it or run from it, but really realize this is really a good opportunity for us to do some cleaning out work. Yeah, I did some cleaning out work today unexpectedly, but I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad that it showed up. Hey, there's Marvel's Green. She says, I have just had 2 days on a goddess retreat. Beautiful to hear your voice and see your goddess. Love you, Magella. Magella, thank you so much. How wonderful. I must have done something really good to get that feedback. I love it. And, I feel that the times we're in, are really, really, supporting, women claiming their divine feminine. So thank you for sharing that, Magella. That's a validation, a good validation about what I've been feeling. Absolutely. Absolutely. The bestest goddess. I love it. Ashe. Ashe. So this will be the fourth and the last day of this potent week that I'm going to share with you. I stopped myself from doing the 21st because that's not only Sagittarius season opening, it's also the winter solstice. And there are two, or I think three, yeah, there's three other aspects also on that day. So I wanted to make sure that, I would do it properly and fully for you. So I said, let me just stop. But just know that like there's 5 more aspects to this week. But here on Thursday, the 20th, we have two. And the first one is this conjunction between the Sun and Mercury in Scorpio. Seeking clarity after weeks of confusion? Today is perfect for uncovering the truth. Our intuition will guide us into seeing through the heart of any situation. Wonderful, wonderful, so important. And now, when the sun conjuncts with a planet, it is called a Cazimi. And so this is the Mercury Cazimi that we are having. And this is the fifth one. Yeah, I think this is number 5 that we've had for the year. And hold on for 1 second. Let me take a peek forward if I put that other slide in. I didn't. Yeah, I thought this would be good enough information. So again, Mercury retrograde in Scorpio Cazimi, a heartening cosmic message. The Scorpio new moon is tightly conjunct Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, so it coincides with the beginning of a new mercurical cycle, Cazimi, one that's likely to deliver an important cosmic message or insight. During one of the most potent energetic resets of the year, Mercury meets the sun in an inferior conjunction, and that's because Mercury is retrograde. That's when they call it inferior, symbolizing revelation, breakthrough, understanding, and the birth of new ideas emerging from reflection. Yes. Cazimi is an Arabic term meaning in the heart of the sun. Rather than being overwhelmed by the sun's light, the planet is purified and empowered. As a result, this new moon is not a time to initiate, plant new seeds, or push a new reality forward. It's inviting, excuse me, deep introspection, emotional rebirth. Again, there's that soul restoration and a transformative pause to realign your inner worlds before the next chapter begins. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And, you know, a Mercury Cazimi, usually I feel like there's about 2 in a year. This has been 5. This has been 5, folks. Yeah. Hey, Tracy. Good to see you're here. She's telling everybody hi. Lovely. Um, yeah, so you need to know this is unusual. 5 Cazimis, 5 times that Mercury has, you know, come into, I think it's, I can't remember the degree, but anyway, it's a conjunction, you know. And so Mercury being amplified, Mercury being purified, and Mercury so close to not just communication, but also about the messages that we receive from on high. Yeah. So just know, just take that in, that if there are things that you've been confused about, things you want clarity on, yeah, this energy can definitely help you access that. Yeah. So it's really, really powerful. I'm just loving it. And I love Kazemi energy. It's very powerful. And then, last but not least, on the 20th of November, we get Uranus retrograde in Taurus, sextiling a flow energy, Neptune retrograde in Pisces. Deja vu might linger in our thoughts as we undergo a spiritual awakening, reawakening that pulls us out of our funk. It's a great day to connect with others and work together to create a better world for all. Ah, isn't that just delicious? Like such a deliciously powerful statement of, inciting us to stay the course, to stay hopeful, faith-filled, like, yeah, this energy is coming. And I tell you, when I've looked at the aspects that I have been, reporting on over the last 2 years, it's very, very rare to see Uranus be the front runner in an aspect. It's usually another planet aspecting with Uranus rather than Uranus aspecting with something else. So this to me is quite significant too, that Uranus is showing up in the front runner role. So yeah, way powerful, way powerful. Love it. And so, my dears, there you have it for those 4 days, the week of the 16th of November, with these very impactful cosmic energies, celestial energies that are moving to support us in our healing, our growth, and our evolution. Now, I've got a couple of cosmic reminders for you. As always, I've been talking about this one, which is this conjunction between Saturn and Neptune in the sign of Aries that will come in February of 2026. And this alignment emphasizes the need to close cycles, leave the past behind, and learn to navigate transitions and uncertainty with faith because we're entering into this new era. So they're in a balsamic phase right now, meaning they're inching closer and closer together. And they're both retrograde right now in Pisces. One will be moving forward this month. But yeah, just a reminder for you that this energy is coming. And then another energy that I got reminded about by Astro Butterfly is what's called a minor trine, or the magic triangle. And it is a reason to be optimistic and hopeful because from 2025 to 2028, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto will be harmoniously aligned. This extremely rare configuration is also very powerful for a long time. This magical triangle is the most positive, significant, and consequential planetary alignment in our lifetimes and this century. Aries, Gemini, and Aquarius are most affected. However, the amazing period of discovery and revelation can benefit everyone. Wow, 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 wow. Beautiful. So again, from 25 to 2028, that's a 3-year period that these three outer planets are going to be working together to raise us up to a higher frequency, to a higher level of who we are as human beings. Yeah, just delicious. And some promos for you before I go off completely. This is my dear friend, Dr. Amanda Kemp, who is now calling herself Aminata. Fire, I'm gonna screw it up, so I'm not gonna give you the whole thing, but it's a beautiful full name. I should have written it down and I'd have it in front of me, but it is very powerful. Aminata, as a wisdom walker, has taken the Dagara creation stories that I wrote down in my book and put it to music, and I mean, it's really drumming and sound and music too, but she's doing it like it would be done in the village in Africa. Yeah. And she does the spoken word of the story with it done with, the support of the drums and the music. It's just fabulous. And uh, definitely it's going to happen where she'll have a good video of it that I can share with you. But Aminata does these gatherings, and for the solstice coming up, she is doing a free virtual online open portal to support you in being able to be in the season of winter. Excuse me. Her group is called the Mother Tree Community, and on Saturday, November 22nd, 11 a.m. ET, 8 a.m. PT, she will be holding this gathering for anyone who wants to show up. As she says, within the dark, quiet heaviness of winter is a place of nourishment and creation. Darkness is not danger, darkness is potential. If you're curious about the winter solstice or looking for a way to offset the holiday parade of endless consumption, then please join us. And you can get the information and register at www.dramandakemp.com/winter portal open house. Yeah. So I hope that is supportive for some of you. Absolutely. Also, again, a promo about Malene Kybell's book for women, Reclaim the Sacred Self, The Way of the Heart Protector. And again, it is available on Amazon and other online booksellers. She has it in digital form as well, in an ebook and also hard copy. And again, I highly recommend, especially for those who are ready to do that road of self-discovery, self-reclamation, and of course, self-love. And then, as always, promoting my book, The Wisdom Walk to Self-Mastery, Ancient Wisdom for Transforming Pain, still available online, Amazon, Kindle, Thrift Book, A's Book. You don't have to go through Amazon. You can actually get them at other places if you want to. So, okay, there you have it. Thank you so much for listening in. Again, I hope this is really helpful for you. Um, it is a very, very powerful time, a time where we're very vulnerable, emotionally vulnerable. Our nervous systems are really like, so any information that we can get to help ground us and help us feel like, oh, there's a bigger plan. God really doesn't knows what God is doing, and the movement of the planets and the aspecting, how they're communicating with each other and what's going on, to me, is God language, and it's really there to help us learn and to help us trust a greater order and direction. Yeah. I am going to leave in the description box below a really good video I came across about an interpretation at a spiritually intelligent level of what 3I Atlas, the interstellar quote unquote comet that came in. And what I love about this too is that it also talks about this new generation of young people. They get a bad rap a lot because they're not doing what boomers did, or the greatest generation. They have really come to usher in the new earth, and they're to be going against the grain. They're not supposed to be going along with the status quo. And this is the first time I've heard someone really talking about that in a very intelligent and coherent way. So I will get that into the description box for you. As soon as I finish this, I'll be able to do that. So, have a beautiful rest of your evening. Have a fabulous week. The video I did before will tell you about what's coming this week because the Mercury retrograde will show up. And yeah, just stay on your walk, stay true to yourself. Um, this is a very, very powerful and beautiful time to be on this planet because we really are ushering in a new earth, a new earth, a new age, a new era. Hey, Tracy, she says, I'll have to watch the playback and thank you in advance for the timely message, Dr. Oh, you're so welcome. You are so welcome. May it be of great service. So I will be back next Sunday with Wisdom Walk Talk for the, I think, #1 annual commitment is what I'll be talking about, which is about transformation. So I'll look forward to being there for you next week. And then I'll come with the final part of November's astrology, probably the week of the 16th. So be well, be safe, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye bye now.